we have a new British heavyweight champion. Daniel Dubois destroys Nathan Gorman in 5 rounds. As it turned out, the fight wasn't even particularly competitive. Let's talk about it. Daniel Dubois boxed from a technical point of view the way I expected him to box, in terms of holding center ring and using his superior reach, because he had the longer arms in there, and throws more formidable punches at long range. But he was actually more aggressive than I expected. I thought he might wait to try and methodically break Gorman down as the fight went on. But no, Daniel Dubois was going for the knockout from early. So he was commanding center ring, establishing the jab, gradually maneuvering Nathan Gorman to the ropes. Then when he had him on the ropes, he was unleashing ferocious punches. I mean, this guy wanted to take Nathan Gorman's head off from the opening bell. Now, in my pre-fight video, I said it's in those moments that Nathan Gorman's going to have his chance, because at long range, with the long arms of Dubois, Gorman's going to struggle. You see, a lot of people were picking Gorman to outbox Dubois. But as I said in the pre-fight video, I don't think it's going to be that easy for Gorman to outbox him because of Dubois' long arms. Yeah, I know Gorman's slick and all that kind of stuff, but he's not 6'9" like his cousin Tyson Fury with an 85-inch reach or whatever ridiculous reach Tyson Fury has. Gorman doesn't have that. He's actually going to have the shorter arms than a lot of his opponents. So it's a lot more difficult for him to start pulling a Tyson Fury job when he's got such short arms compared to a guy like Daniel Dubois. So Dubois was actually the boss on the outside. He was the boss on the inside too. But whenever they did have a trade up on the inside, Gorman was able to get a few shots off. And he did manage to catch Daniel Dubois here and there, but nothing that he caught Dubois with bothered him at all. Bothered Dubois at all. And the more Dubois started imposing himself on Nathan Gorman as the rounds progressed, the more Nathan Gorman started to unravel. So his technique started becoming real sloppy, real quick after he started tasting the power. He got cut, I think, was it in the first or second round, he got cut, and he really started to unravel. So initially in the first round, when they were exchanging, Gorman's counters were relatively, well delivered. But after the cut and after the first knockdown, which I can't remember what round it was it the third round he got knocked down in? Second or third round. After that first knockdown, Gorman's punches, whenever they would have a trade up, started getting very, very wild. Normally Gorman throws nice tight combinations, but because he was in a high pressure situation, his technique started to deteriorate. And that is not uncommon, particularly with inexperienced fighters, is when you put them in a high pressure situation where they're getting hit harder than they've ever been hit before, and they're not able to box the way they normally like to box, their technique can fall to pieces. And we saw that here against Gorman. Gorman showed a lot of heart. When he got dropped, he got back up and he fired back. He knew he had to catch Dubois with something to get his respect, but he just didn't manage to get Dubois' respect. And Dubois went right back on the jab, that big long jab. I saw some people say they think Gorman froze. I don't think Gorman froze at all. I just think that people, again, were expecting Gorman to just do a Tyson Fury impersonation. Not so easy when the other guy has got much longer arms than you and a good jab. Not so easy to do a Tyson Fury impersonation. I don't think he froze. I just think he was in there with a better fighter, a stronger fighter. I suspected that this fight would probably go rounds. I thought he might go the distance. I didn't think Dubois would be this aggressive. I thought Dubois, I'm sure probably got the power to hurt Gorman, and maybe vice versa. But I felt like Dubois would probably take his time more. But he seemed in a hurry tonight. He wanted to get this guy out of there ASAP, and he went out there and did exactly that. So it was a great performance by Daniel Dubois. Nathan Gorman, some people are going to slate him, but personally, I think he did as good as he could do under the circumstances, right? I mean, you can say, he should move around, and look, he was 17 pounds heavier than Daniel Dubois. So he might have had the quicker hands, you know, when he held his technique together. He might have had the quicker hands, but he certainly didn't have the quicker feet. 17 pounds heavier and slightly shorter than Dubois. He was never going to do a Sugar Ray Leonard and try and, you know, in and out, stick and move. That was never going to work. All right. If he was going to beat Daniel Dubois, in my mind, it was going to have to be with very careful strategic boxing where he lures Dubois in. On the outside, I always felt it was going to be difficult for Gorman to beat Dubois on the outside. He'd have to lure him in, you know, get Dubois to overcommit, as he often does. Yeah, Dubois does leave himself open when he traps you on the ropes and stuff like that, or tries to have a trade up. He does leave himself open, and in them spots right there is where I felt like Gorman might have had his opportunity. You know, if he boxed very carefully and a good strategy, very disciplined, he might have been able to get him in them situations. But ultimately, Dubois was just too strong. His jab was too good. The punching power was too much. And in the 5th round, he clipped Gorman around the temple area with a right hand, and down Gorman went, very badly hurt. Did manage to get to his feet by the count of 10, but the referee decided that he was in no position to continue. I've seen some people complain about the stoppage. Personally, I mean, I wouldn't have complained if he'd let it go on, but at the same time, I'm not going to complain that he stopped it, because I think he was really badly hurt. He struggled to get up, but when he did get up, he looked in a bad way. He was cut. You know, he was just getting overpowered and beaten up in there. So, you know, save Nathan Gorman the extra punishment. He'll live to fight another day. He's only a young guy, 21, 22 years old himself. He'll come back and he can be involved in some interesting fights. In fact, Frank Warren's already talking about putting Nathan Gorman in against Joe Joyce. And I think that's a logical next step, to be honest, because Joe Joyce did not look particularly good tonight against Brian Jennings. He did win on points. I picked Joe Joyce to win on points or late stoppage. He won on points. But I thought he looked poor, Joe Joyce, tonight, and I'll make a separate video about that. But the real story of tonight was Daniel Dubois absolutely obliterating Nathan Gorman in very, very good fashion. Onwards and upwards he goes. I do have to talk about the attendance. It was disappointing. Yeah, they didn't have the O2 rocking and rolling. There was really a dead atmosphere in there, despite the fact that you had people like David Haye and Tyson Fury in attendance. The crowd was a small crowd and the atmosphere was poor. As much as they were playing all that music and stuff like that, the crowd were just standing there stoic. You know, they would have been better off putting this in a smaller venue. I know Frank Warren is trying to do his thing, and I applauded him for putting on this show. You know, I was really looking forward to the show. The Dubois-Gorman fight, even though it was one-sided, I feel like that alone was worth watching because of how impressive Dubois looked. But the rest of the show, you know, Liam Williams did his thing. The atmosphere just wasn't there. Frank Warren's still got a long way to go, it would seem, if he's going to match what Matchroom are doing. And we're going to see next Saturday at the Dylan White-Oscar Rivas fight a far superior atmosphere in that very same venue. Obviously, the fighters are more high profile, but again, that's the competition for Frank Warren when it comes to Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, Sky Sports, and what they're doing, you know. So, yeah, I do have to say that it was disappointing. I would have liked to have seen a better turnout for that show. You know, these young heavyweights putting it all on the line, facing each other. I would have liked to see a better turnout and more support for both men, but it is what it is. Great win for Daniel Dubois. He is now British champion. Will any British heavyweights out there want to challenge him for his title? We'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. How far can Daniel Dubois go? I know a lot of people are going to be shocked by how easy this was for Daniel Dubois. I'm not shocked. Again, I picked Daniel Dubois to win on points, but these were two unknown quantities going into this fight. Dubois was an unknown quantity. Gorman was an unknown quantity. Neither one of them had been in there in a 50-50 fight before. And so when there are so many questions about both men, and it's, you know, young heavyweights who are going to lay it all on the line and start swinging for the fences, anything can happen in a fight like that. You know, it can end in 1 round, it can end in 6, 7, it could go to I mean, you just don't know. It's very, very up in the air type situation when you got these young heavyweights in there with everything to prove. So I'm not shocked that the fight ended as early as it did. I'm a little surprised that it was so uncompetitive. I thought maybe Gorman would have been able to do some more clever things in there, but just hats off to Dubois, man. He's a very, very physically strong young man, very focused and vicious. And I like that about him. You know, I like the viciousness from Daniel Dubois. Did his thing. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below about this performance by Daniel Dubois. How far can he go? You know, Frank Warren has been talking about Dubois fighting Anthony Joshua, you know, putting him in with Anthony Joshua, fighting at world level right now. He's only 12 fights in. I think it's far, far, far too early to start talking about fights like that. Maybe that's just hype talk from Frank Warren. I don't know. But, you know, he's got plenty of time. He's only 21 years old. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever to rush him. And if I was a member of Dubois' management team, I'd obviously be very confident in him. But why rush him when you don't have to? Do you get what I'm saying? Why not build him and allow him to grow and blossom as a professional? Just, you know, just let it happen organically. Why force it and start, oh, he's going to fight for world titles this year? Like, chill. Yeah, chill. Get him to about, I don't know, at least 19, 20-0. And then you can start talking about world titles, you know. At the very minimum, 17-0. 17, 18-0. Then you can start talking about world titles. But when he's only 12-0, there's no need to start pushing him to world level now. But yeah, he's a good prospect for the future. British champion now. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.